What is up, YouTube? This is Hypergun, your Cap, back again for another video. Now, I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do this week until I actually saw one of the newer cars coming out in, not the next set, Clash of Rebellions, but the set afterwards, Dimension of Chaos. And in that is actually a very interesting card that opened up yet another potential speculation for the Arc 5 anime. The card in question is this. Now, for those of you who are unable to read Japanese, this card is known as Red Dragon Archfiend Scar Right, presumably because of the badass new addition to his right arm, on top of various other things. However, this is clearly Red Dragon Archfiend in a new form. Now, because this is a new card, I guess I'll go ahead and let you guys know what it does, even though it has nothing to do with the speculation. It's a generic level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. This card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while it is on the field or in the graveyard. Basically the only two places it can exist, but whatever. Once per turn, you can destroy as many special summoned effect monsters on the field with attack less than or equal to this card's attack as possible, other than him. Then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. I can see why this is an amazing card, however, I can easily see this, being worked around. It doesn't seem like that difficult of a card to work past. So, I personally don't think it's that great. I prefer things like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. However, this to me seems to be pretty definitive as Jack's new boss monster in Arc 5. We already know he's going to be in it, and this is just, it's Red Dragon Archfiend. We can clearly see that. His first effect even says he becomes Red Dragon Archfiend. So, what exactly is the speculation then? That this is clearly going to be his new boss monster? Well, the speculation comes from an earlier thing I did when we first found out that Jack House was even going to be in Arc 5. And that was the large monster behind him. At the time, I was 100% convinced it had to be Red Nova Dragon, because he had that at the end of 5Ds, and he still used it, so it just seemed to make good sense to me. However, looking back at it now and seeing this almost actually looks kind of closer, just because of the way the horns are. But on top of that, it does also kind of give more evidence to the fact that 5Ds originally took place in Standard. Now, this was a big thing for everyone trying to figure out, well, what dimension were the other anime in? Were they in their own specific dimension? Were they in this Standard one? And to me, it seems like this is pretty definitive that, at the very least, the original through Arc 5 through 5Ds took place in Standard. Why? Well, all three of them have to be connected, and most people in the Synchro dimensions that we've seen seem to be completely oblivious to any other summoning method other than Synchro summoning. Even things like XZs aren't that well known, and in the 5Ds anime, while there wasn't much, there were still other summoning methods. Yusei himself actually managed to fusion summon once in the anime. There may have been others, but I'm not thinking of them right now. So because of just that general lack of knowledge about it, it seems pretty definitive for me that they would have had to have originated in the Standard dimension, since they did have knowledge of other summoning methods other than just Synchro monsters. On top of that, we know that they're all connected, and originally I thought that they all just took place in their own dimensions, with the original and GX being in the fusion, and then the others being a little bit more obvious. I don't know where Zexal fits into this, whether it was in Standard or whether it's in the Xyz dimension. I'm pretty sure it's in the Xyz dimension because of their incredibly heavy lore on that, but even then there is still a fusion in there, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about 5Ds and Arc 5. Now, another reason I think that is because of what we've seen of the Synchro dimensions so far. It seems pretty definitive to me that, so far, it has to be different from what we knew. It's no longer Neo-Domino City and Satellite. It is the city and the slums. And unless they just downgraded their naming conventions, I don't see how it can possibly be the same thing. I mean, sure, we have the same characters of Jack and Crow, but we haven't seen anyone else so far. There's no sign of Yusei, the twins, Akiza, anyone. Hell, it doesn't even look like the original. God, what was his name? The main bad guy of the Rex Goodwin. That was it. Yeah, we're not seeing even a sniff of Rex Goodwin. Instead, we got some other chess-playing guy. I have no idea who is yet, but he seems like a bad guy, so I'm going to go with bad guy for now. I'm really not sure where exactly this is going with it, but it does seem pretty definitive to me now that this is an entirely different Jack and Crow than we have seen before. Even some of Crow's monsters seem to be different from what they originally were, including this new thing, Raikiri the Storm, or whatever the hell it's called, was never a monster that Crow summoned. Normally, when he was going to go for a synchro summon, his first one would have been Blackwing Armor Master, and that was just what we were used to. We have not even seen a sniff of him yet, and we may not as far as I know. The detention facility also seems to function a little bit differently based on last week's episode, but again, this is more just seeing the little details that differ greatly from 5Ds. So, it does seem it's going to be a new thing, so we may not see some characters like you say as much as I would love to, because I feel like they solely existed in the original. Now, that still does leave the issue of time, because this is clearly taking place in the same time as the standard dimension in Arc 5. However, for this theory to hold true, then characters like Jack and Crow would have had to have existed in the Synchro dimension at the same time that they did when they were in the standard dimension, as is evidenced by the clone characters, Yuya, Yuto, Yugo, and Yuri, and then even the females. Their names are escaping me right now, but you get the idea. All of them seem to kind of be hinting that, if nothing else, there is a little time inconsistency, but again, this is all just speculation. And really, that's all I got for you guys without rambling too much. Let me know what you guys think. Does this pretty much confirm it? Is this Jack's new boss monster? Are we hyped for him? And am I wrong that this card is actually amazing? For me, it's just a special summoning thing, but whatever. Anyway, be sure to let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to also like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.